everybody. Welcome to our new channel. It's called The Gambling Elephant. I am Regina, aka Hamet Neferet, and this is my brother. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hey everybody, my name is Terrence, aka Moose.
So, with that, as you see, we new to this, right? But we have been talking about this for a while about starting a channel with siblings and talking about how we grew up, who we are, what our hopes, dreams, goals in life, sharing this, you know, who we are with everybody, our family that's near and far, friends that are distant. So just wanted to, just share life, be authentic, and talk about different things, talk about growing up, because we got some stories to tell. Like it's amazing how we transition from one aspect in our life growing up to where we are now. So I just wanted to just talk about that real quick. Um, Terrence is gonna, well, Moose is gonna talk about why we chose the name, the Gambling Elephant. So Terrence, go ahead and talk about that.
Well, the thing is that our mother, she loved elephants, and back in when we was growing up, in our family, we saw a lot of card games, and our father played pool, and things like that. So we combined it with and it's called the Gambling Elephant. And also we're going to be touching on medical issues. I mean, we're going to go all across the board. About what happens when you get sick, how to deal with sickness, and everything is not going to be doom and gloom. It's going to be happy times. I just came back from Turks and Caicos. You know what I'm saying? So, we just, like my sister said, we just going to explore life. The trials, the tribulations, the triumphs, everything. And because life is a journey. Life is a journey. Is not all bad and it's not all good. And the thing is that uh you can't be afraid. Well, you can be anything you want. Me, I can't be afraid to live life and to experience life. So and also it's good for therapy. It's good for
Yeah.
therapy to talk about yourself, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
and
we are learning that now that we are a little bit more vintage in age. I hate to say old, because all old people dead to me. But now that we have matured and manifest into um, another aspect of our life, I find that having a conversation is easier. Like there are things that I had not known because I was always distant. I was always um I want to say the one of the child that had to be the most serious most of the time. um the one that was like a mother, um the one that just had to carry a lot of some of the load when I was there. When I left it was a totally different story, but just learning about my siblings, learning about my sister and my brothers that's still here, because we are in different parts of the country now. I was in West Africa with my husband and had to come back due to some life-changing stuff. Like the guilt I feel about not being here, it weighs on me now. And me and you had a discussion about that, like don't carry the guilt, but I'm always going to have that guilt because I feel like I failed my brother. I feel like I abandoned him in a way, if that makes sense. But um just being here now, I'm able to build a better bond, a better relationship with you and Randy and Selena, and we do have Tina too. You know, we have other siblings, but they choose not to be part of our world, which is fine. That, I mean, everybody has their own life, you know, and they don't, because of hurt and pain, they choose not to be part of, right? So no grudges, no pain, just live your life, and we wish you the best. You know.
Well, you know, I see it like you know, when you know, because it was six of us, and then Jackie came, which made seven, you know. But the six that Mama and Daddy had, you know,
Together.
Ernie, Regina, Travis, Randy, Terrence, Selena, right? Um, and then you know you got the other ones. I mean, you know, I don't like to say half brother, half sister. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Exactly.
me personally. I don't like
Right.
to say
Me
that.
too. I don't say that.
But you know, as far as I know, you know, you got Timmy, David, and Tina. I don't know about anybody else. You know what I'm saying? You know, those are the ones that I know. You know,
Right.
so, but for some reason that you know, it seems that when situations like this happens, you know, the other children that's not a part of the mother, along with the mother, they want to make the other siblings pay for the sins of the father, you know, and I will never let anybody do that to me. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's
You
not
know,
gonna happen.
yeah, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? And now me as being a grown man, you know what I'm saying? I understand, you know, is life. And people
Right.
have relations and let's just call it
And
what it is. Yeah,
issues in
yeah,
those relationships.
yeah, but you know, like when Tina daughter turned 16, I went to the Sweet 16 party. I
Right.
showed up, my wife and I, I showed up and I do my best to keep in touch with her. She do her best to keep in touch with me.
Right.
And that's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not here to intrude on anyone's life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anything from anybody, you know, as far as financially. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I mean, I would love for people to care, but if you don't, then you know, oh well. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just continue on living my life because, you know, the thing is that you know, none of us know how long we got here. You
True
know what
that.
I'm saying? None of us know how long we got here. Look, we done lost both parents. We done lost three brothers. You know what I'm saying? We done lost a cousin who was like a sister to us. You know what I'm saying? We done lost Spike. I ain't going to forget about Spike. But yeah, for those of y'all that didn't know, and you're going to hear us talk about Spike a lot, right? Because
Yeah.
Spike, you know, Spike was our dog, right?
The first dog that I knew that could spell.
Yeah, you know, you know, our friends and family when they see this, they're gonna be laughing because they know Spike too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you know, in other episodes, we're gonna elaborate on Spike because he's a very intricate, important part of of our growing up, our lives. I mean, this dog been through everything with us, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that because I want that to
Into
snowball,
something else.
yeah,
Yeah.
into something
But
else because
I do want to say something. You know, you bringing up people that we lost, that transition. Um, Two people who were very intricate in our growing up. I'm gonna say, like, wow, like we didn't know this was our cousins, right? We had no idea. Auntie Grace
yeah,
and Uncle Piggy Boy. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, we had no idea that was Mama Cousin.
yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't
You know,
know that,
and I did not know until I became an adult that that was our mother cousin.
yeah.
That was her first cousin. And I'm like, but that's Auntie Grace So, you know, like,
Well,
how could this be your cousin?
well, 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 you know, growing up, being that she was older, And because we just, I was talking to my friend Rob earlier, and we just grew up in a different era. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
about with the respect aspect, of life. We just grew up in a different era. People our age, it's like we had to respect. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so when I saw, and look, I'm going to say it, when I saw Auntie Grace, even though she's our cousin, but
Cousin.
she was, yeah, but she was mama them age. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't disrespect like that. So
Right.
I mean, it's but she used to say, baby, I'm your cousin. And but it
It
went in
never
this
never
ear and
paid
out the other.
attention.
Yeah, and like Auntie Jess, that was her sister. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But I remember I didn't know the impact that Piggy Boy had on me until after. And look, I'm
Yeah.
getting emotional now because I understood what he was saying at the time, but when I really got older and started thinking some of the things that he used to say, yo, it really touched me, man. It really touched me because I didn't know he had that impact on me.
Right.
And it just goes back to what Mama said, man. Like you just don't know who's going to be there for you in your time of need.
Hmm.
You look. I'm here to
And
tell y'all.
but let's just clarify this too. It's not a physical time. You understand? Like a lot of times these people are not there in the physical. It's something, an incident or a conversation or something they said that brings an impact to your life when you need it at that moment. Because I know I've never felt unloved with Auntie Grace and Auntie Jessame. I've never. I could literally see Auntie Grace sitting there right now and just reassuring or just confirming her love for me as a little girl, as a woman. I remember when me and my husband, we it was our first years together, and we had a cookout, and she was sick, but she said, I would not miss this for the world. And they brought her from South Jersey. uh, uh, Shelly and all of them brought her up from South Jersey to the cookout. Had I known that was one of the last times that I would have physically seen her, you know what I'm saying? Like, what could I have done differently?
But you
But
know
that
what?
was one of the last times that I physically saw her outside of going to her funeral.
But you know what? I'm glad you kind of brought that up, right? It made me um when I come to think about somebody, and it don't necessarily have to be a family member, it could be anybody. When I think about somebody, right, I try to reach out because I remember when Auntie Dot told me, and I didn't know Elaine was sick,
Mhm.
but when Auntie Dot told me that Elaine was sick, and I thought I had all the time in the world to go and see it. I thought I had all the time in the world, and I said, I'll get over there. I'll get over there, and then she
She
passed
was
away.
gone.
Yeah, and Elaine, and the reason why I brought that up is because Elaine was one of the first big cousins that I know that I mean, big as I am, or big as I was when I was a kid, she used to pick me up. And I remember her used to pick me up and used to hug me and stuff like that. And she was the first cousin that I ever experienced that with. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I remember I would see her on the street, just like Chris. I would see Chris, I mean, Pico. I mean, like, see, this is when family was family.
Family. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
and I used to see, I could see Chris anywhere. I could see Elaine anywhere. I could see Pico, definitely Pico anywhere. Hey, cuz you
Yep.
all right? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and
Ronnie
and, and
too. Ronnie too.
yeah, Ron. I remember when I came back from Michigan and you know, hanging out with Ronnie, you know, and it's just so yeah, you know, and I'm kind of glad that we are doing this because it's bringing the forth. It's going to bring forth a healing process,
Yes.
you know, and some people might not like our conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said,
Some
it's
might
not
love
all.
it, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is what it is.
and some people they might love it. You
Right.
know, but the thing is that it's important for me, and it's important for you, and that's all
Yep.
that really matters.
And I'm
You
gonna
know,
say something that Mama used to say. Everything is not for every ear.
yeah,
Okay. So what we talk about is not gonna be for everybody. Um, I'm a researcher. This is a way, like you said, to bring about healing. And it's not going to touch everybody in that way that they need to be healed. But I'm hoping that those that need it, is like reciprocation. Okay. So if I put it out there, I hope you receive it with love and truth. Okay.
and just know. Sorry for cutting you off,
No, it's
but but
cool.
but just know that you know coming from me with my stories, with my like she said, research and that, I am not out to hurt anybody.
Right.
You
Disclaimer
know,
time. Disclaimer time.
yeah, you
This
know,
is based on our personal experiences, our life, things that were said to us, people who made a huge impact, some people who made smaller impacts. But this is not geared towards airing clean or dirty laundry. This is not to hurt anyone, to bring about separation. This is about healing, and this is about our journey, our little bumps in our road. So I'm hoping that nobody take offense to this or stop talking to me or my brother. But I'm going to say this: if you do, that's your loss. Okay. So that's
yeah,
our disclaimer. We're just putting it up there because this is not about hurt. This is about truth. This is about our truth, how we see our life, how we saw our life. Okay. So again, that's our disclaimer.
and before we go, right? Before we go, I just want to touch on the election. You know,
Mm,
I want to touch on the election, right? Um, First and foremost, I don't know who I'm voting for, if I'm going to vote at all, right?
okay. That's fair.
You know, I will say this, right? I'll say two things, at least two things. I'm not going to vote for someone because they're black. I'm not doing that.
Allegedly black.
Yeah, those days are over. You
Right.
know, I'm not doing that, right? I'm voting for the person whose policies I believe in. You
Right.
know, that's who I'm voting for. Now I can give you pros and cons on the top two leading candidates. You know what I'm saying? And one of them, I'm gonna start with Trump, right? It's kind of hard for me to vote for him, knowing what he did to those guys, to them Central Park five back in the day. You know, I mean, people could say, "Well, this is my feeling.
That's your opinion.
This is my
Okay.
feelings." You know, and because see, I understand by wearing the skin, right? That I could have been one of them five young men. I could have been one of them. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Easy.
And then on with Miss Harris or Mrs. Harris, let me get it correct. Vice President Kamala Harris, right?
Right.
I mean, give her respect.
Put her in her title.
Yeah, you know, I heard this woman say that she's not going to do anything for blacks. Like, no, let me rephrase that. She said she not only going to do things just for blacks. You know, I'm not asking anybody to just do, you know, because that's foolish to just do stuff for
something
just black people.
for Black Americans or African Americans.
That's stupid. You know, if you're the president, you running a country. You have to look out for everybody. But until I hear people talk about my concerns, I don't know who I'm voting for. I can vote for. Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Keep going.
Yeah, you know, like one of my, because I live here in the tri-state area, New York City. You know what I'm saying? And one of my pet peeves is that they got to do something with the migrants, or you know, illegal aliens, migrants, whatever you want to call them, and you
right.
know,
whatever politically correct today.
Yeah, people could take it how they. I'm not, Regina. You know, I'm not politically correct. You know, I'm
saying whatever the politically correct term is today. That's what I'm saying.
I get it. I get it. But I you know, this is me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be disrespectful because I don't want nobody to be disrespectful to me. But at the same time, you know, that's one of my main issues. You know.
So let me just piggyback off of that. Okay. So in our communities, and the African American communities or Black communities, whatever you want to call, you see politicians more. Almost 100% of the time. I'll say 97 to 100% of the time during election time. It could be a local election, state, or for president. This is when people start coming out wanting that African American vote, wanting Black people to come out. They come out with T-shirts in the community. They might be giving out hot dogs or hamburgers, backpacks, food drive, something to say, hey, we need your vote. Okay. And for me, it's wrong. I'm so sick and tired of people going into the communities and bringing T-shirts that you wearing 10 years later because now you're homeless, but you still got that daggone T-shirt. Okay. Giving the kids these little cheap backpacks that you could go to 99-cent store and buy yourself, or a pencil and a notebook. Notebooks cost you nothing now, but this is what they do. They gift us for our vote, and the gifts don't even support, you know, getting our vote. But then when they get in there, you might see them 1 or 2 more times in your community, and then you don't see them no more until the next election cycle.
But that's why we and you know, from being a public servant. I mean, we both was public servants, you know, and you know, that the issues when it comes to our community, right? And I will even put, you know, I will even put Spanish people and you know, because we grew up we have Puerto Ricans in our family. You know, our nephews is Puerto Ricans. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So but like we
grew up side by side with them. It wasn't.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is this, right? What I'm trying to say is this, right? In our community, we fall for anything that's free, that's so-called free.
That goes back to what I said.
That's what I'm saying.
And nothing is free, which is stupid.
But nothing is free. Nothing is free.
Once they get your vote, then you know you go and you sit around and you're like, well, but I got this from them. But what did you really get? Did you get a reduction in your premiums for health care, your auto insurance? Like, are you getting
Yeah,
a better pay rate at your job? You know,
but
are
see,
your children getting the best education possible? Because
but see,
the way the school system is now, it's integrated wrong. I'm sorry. And
but
I was part of the school board. I was the president. So I'm telling you, the way the school systems are now is completely wrong. It's not geared for our children to learn. So while you casting your vote for these presidents, these people, that's these candidates, you need to think about what really is going to benefit you and your
yeah,
community.
and
Okay,
that's
not
where.
some woman who saying, "Hey, well, sister, I don't." When the minute a woman say that to me, I immediately disconnect from them, because all I hear is snake language. You are hissing at me. You are like just moving in a just a deceitful way. So I don't, when as soon as somebody call me their sister, I am like done. Like, don't, you know, listen to all sides. See what is going to be beneficial to you, your family, and your community as a whole. Not no t-shirt or a hot dog. Okay. That's my thing, because I've seen it.
Well, it is for my 50 plus years on this earth. I've seen it, and how they come at our community is through religion, music, and drugs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's other things. You know what I'm saying? But those are the ones right now that's right off the top of you know
Well, you
my
done
head.
touched on it, because now we know one of the candidates is using rappers. I
Yeah.
mean, really?
I mean, but see, that's what I'm saying, right? It's time for us, and I hope the younger generation, because I'm not gonna say that we can't change the world, because Tupac said that. Let me, I'm not gonna say that we can't change the world of us being our age, but more than likely, the younger generation that's coming up can change the world. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that they don't follow the lies and deceit that we follow. Because see,
Yeah, because
that's one thing. Hold on, let me say this,
mhm,
right? That's one thing that 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 we people 50, 60, 70 years old, they don't want to take the blame for. Right?
right.
It's our fault. It's our fault that we are in the state that we are in. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I'm pretty sure the finger or the hand or whatever can go around to many other, things, but the truth of the matter is that is our fault. You know,
Yeah, it is our fault, but it goes back to Terrence, miseducation. Okay. And like Malcolm X said, okay, we've been lied to. We've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, all of that. We have
I
been.
don't know.
Our, our history has been so distorted and erased. Okay. We have to go back to our grounding. Now, let me say this. If you are a religious person, be religious. That's your God given right, right? I practice spirituality. I'm a Kimite, and I believe in justice, reciprocity. Okay. I believe in love. There are principles that I live by so I could live in my truth. Okay. That's me. So don't knock me when I don't agree with certain things that are in religion. That's your right, correct? But what I'm going to say is we have to go back to the beginning, because I was having a conversation in the store the other day with somebody. And I said, we as African descendant people, we are under this misconception that we're all kings and queens. Now, I had my earrings on that said queen because that's who I was that day. I felt queenly, you know? And she said, you know what? You're right. She said, I said, imagine if everybody was kings and queens, we would be in worse state than we are now. Okay. It would be 10 times worse. I said, what I know in my family is that some are kings, some are queens, but some are architects, some are artists, some are dancers. I'm a businesswoman. I love business. I love numbers. Not everybody is going to fit into that role, king and queen. You know for yourself. I call one of my grandsons Mr. President from the time he came out of his mom. That was Mr. President. He is Mr. President because we have to get into those titles. We have to start accepting our true destiny, our true fate. Our true destiny and fate is not being drug dealers, is not being criminal minded, is not just having babies to have babies. Okay. We are here with a purpose. We are to have children for a divine purpose. Okay. And when you step out of that divinity, you wreak chaos on the earth. So we need to start living in our truth. That's why I started, preaching to Travis or giving him the information I received. And he was receptive of that information. And I am so grateful that my brother was able to make his own choice through some of the education that I was giving him.
Yeah, well, that's how we like I said, we're going to touch on and I can almost guarantee that will be one of our biggest shows. No, because we're going to touch on religion, and how we how we grew up in religion and where we are at now,
how I got my hand slammed in the drawer.
Yeah, well, because like religion start wars.
Yes, it do.
And so I remember real quick because I know we got to wrap it up. I remember a lady caught a heart attack over the picture of Jesus, and I'm gonna wait to tell that story. But
right.
And now at the time, I was like, wow, But now, I mean, I look at it as foolishness. Like, why would you catch a heart attack over something that might anyway? So listen,
leave it alone till the next time.
yeah. So listen,
I'm really glad that we're doing this, and our sister and brothers that our other siblings are going to be part of this too. So it's not just us. I don't want people to think it's just us.
But we are the leaders. We are the leaders.
I'm the oldest. I'm the most vintage.
I'm the leader. I'm not the leader, but I'm anyway.
I'm the matriarch of the family. That's me.
Yeah, well, you are the matriarch. That's true. But I don't want Randy to start crying.
Oh boy, that's a different story.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have all them stories. It's gonna be fun, exciting. It's gonna be heartbreaking. It's gonna be everything. It's gonna be. Hopefully, we can expand and really get into it. And
we will.
Yeah, and so that's our introduction to the Gambling Elephant. You have any closing?
I just want to say, just come join us. Like, this is part of our journey, and we want you to be part of it. bring back some memories, like just and you know, it's going to be educational too. So outside of my previous career in law enforcement, you know, I got me another job. Um, and I'm also what they would say is a death doula, and we'll talk about another time, but I like to say a life doula. Okay. Um, so just come and join us and be part of our audience and our family, you know, because this, we're not going to say audience, we're going to say family, right? Let's say that.
You can call it whatever you want, but I will say this. Until next time, everybody, we
All
out.
right. We out. Bye.